This is verse number 38. Kevayam namarupabhyam yarubir saha pandavaha bhavato darshanam yarhi rishikanam ivesituhu. As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Purport. Kunti Devi is quite aware that the existence of the Pandavas is due to Sri Krishna only. The Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by the great king Yudhisthira, who is morality personified. And the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies, but without the guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities, as much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of consciousness. No one should be proud of his prestige, power, and fame without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord himself. We may therefore invent by our own advancement of material knowledge all sorts of counteracting material resources. But without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco. However strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. Chaksun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvisesa Sunyavahi Astyatya Desatarine Vanshakal Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and the Yadus, will end at once. Here is a statement that gives a complete understanding of whatever happens in the world has to, in order for it to be successful, has to be sanctioned by the Lord. In other words, the Lord is both the ingredients of the activities, the knowledge by which the activity is performed, and the results by which the activity produces. So all aspects of activity are simply in the presence of the Lord, as it says here, glance upon them. The Lord glances favorably upon someone or something, and then it reaches its perfection. Prabhupada would always use the example continuously. A doctor may be very highly qualified. He may be an expert in his field. But if the Lord does not give sanction for that person to live, the doctor's knowledge is useless. So Krishna is the success or the ingredient for all success. Here, the Pandavas, very powerful warriors. The Yadus of the dynasty by which Krishna came in, and there are hundreds and millions of the Yadus, all of them very qualified in all respects. But still, as she says here, without the mercy or without you glancing upon us, in other words, without somehow or other you showing us favor, and nothing has any value, and everything will end soon. Another nice example is given in the translation itself, that the body will act only when the spirit soul is there. So a person's body will be given so much credit for the activities it performs or for whatever it is. But the soul is the energizing and mobile factor within the body that makes the body alive. And if the soul leaves, the body is dead or useless. Similarly, the soul is connected with Krishna. And so Krishna actually is the life of the soul and the life of whatever the soul gives life to. Therefore, Krishna is the life of life. It's mentioned in many places that he is the best in all categories. He's the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, the ability in all living entities. And categories, he's the best. And immovable things, he is the Himalayan mountains. And aquatics, he is the shark. So this particular analogies or connections that Krishna is giving with something wonderful within its own category is just a small indication of how Krishna ultimately is the force behind everything. And Prabhupada said, we may invent our own ideas on how to make advancement and how to counteract the onslaught of material nature. But without the guidance of the Lord, everything ends in fiasco. So that has to be understood in all aspects. The intelligence that the devotee needs is supplied by Krishna to execute his devotional service. The ingredients that are needed for the performance of the activity is arranged by Krishna. The level of endeavor, the enthusiasm needed to complete the activity is also Krishna. And the results are given by Krishna. Materially, through the material energy, spiritually, directly through his Daivi Shakti, or spiritual energy. So when we know all this, one can never become proud. Because when you realize you don't do anything, and all of whatever you can do is by the grace of the Lord, then you have to give all credit to the source. And therefore, we say all glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because by his mercy and his manipulation of his energies, everything is carried out. Therefore, he is everything. He's the beginning, he's the middle, he's the end, and he's the process. And when Krishna favors someone, that person can do wonderful things. Just like Krishna will appear in a dream to someone and say, my temple is in disrepair, so please fix my temple. So the idea to do the work comes from Krishna. And then when the devotee goes on to perform the activity, Krishna supplies everything he needs. And the results are given. But the thing is that although Krishna is everything, he doesn't take the credit. The devotees give him the credit, but the Lord doesn't take the credit. The materialists, they think they're doing it. They don't understand behind the scene is the sanction of the Lord. And without the Lord's sanction, nothing works. Prabhupada, you would say, Lord Chaitanya was personally here, and he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the Indian subcontinent. So the question came to Prabhupada, well, why didn't he take it all around the world? And Prabhupada said he left it for me to do. So in the same vein, Krishna can make the whole world Krishna conscious. For him, that's not hard at all. All he has to do is desire and everything will move in that direction. But he doesn't do that. He gives his intelligence, facilities, and abilities to his devotees through their bhakti, and then they carry it out. And although the Lord is the source of everything from the beginning and the end, the devotee gets the credit. And that is Krishna's way of honoring his devotee. He empowers the devotee, and the devotee performs nicely. The Lord gives him the credit, although the Lord is carrying out everything through his devotee. Just like in the Battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna didn't want to fight. He gave so many reasons why he didn't want to fight. And they were logic, morally sound reasons. But Krishna didn't want to go along with that because his plan was already in action. His concern was how to keep it going. So we may have an idea of how things can go on, but they will never really be successful without the mercy of the Lord. And so here we also see living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord himself. So this is Krishna consciousness in essence, always depend on Krishna, always depend on his mercy, always pray for his mercy, always pray that we can keep our consciousness fixed on his lotus feet and engage in his devotional service. And that dependence propels the devotee quickly along the path of the devotional service. We try to do so many things, We want to buy a house, we can't find one. We want to get married, we can't find one, the right partner. We want to get a job and nothing comes. Well, the devotee says, all right, just depend on me, Krishna says. There was an example, one very prominent doctor. This happened just recently, within the last couple months. One prominent doctor was organizing within our society how he could facilitate medical care for each and every devotee in ISKCON. And so he started to organize, trying to facilitate that. And he was working and working and working and contacting others, and he couldn't come up with the solution or the program that needed to be put in place. And he was trying, and he went on for so long, and nothing was actually coming to any logical conclusion. And so at one point, he told me this personally. He said, I just threw up my hands and I said, my dear Lord, if you want it to happen, please make it happen. I can't do it. And the next morning, when he woke up, he did that the night before, everything fell in place. All the contacts came through, all the plans started to move, everything started to happen. And within a few hours, the perfect plan was finished. He was, as he was explaining it, I could understand the way he was explaining it, that Krishna simply said, all right, I like your plan, but you think you're the doer, and so go ahead and keep trying. And when he realized, I'm not the doer, and then he just threw up his hands and said, I can't do it. Then it got done. This is something that happens quite frequently in devotional life. If Krishna is sanctioning it, but we still think we can do it, and we're the doer, and it's our intelligence that's making it happen or not happen, then Krishna will let us continue to struggle till we wake up that it's just, he says, just depend on me. That's all. And when a devotee fully depends on the Lord, then the most wonderful things happen. And there are many examples of that. Okay, so this is and Queen Kuti is saying, if you don't look upon us, whatever we have achieved, whatever our positions are, and along with all the family members, all of that is finished. Okay, any questions or comments?
Thank you, Maharaj, for explaining this verse. Thank you. So devotees, okay, Devananda Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept and humble obeisances. All glories to you, glories to Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Queen Kunti chants, if you don't look upon us, all of our fame and activities will end at once. The question is, can there be such situation when Krishna don't look upon us? Because it seems to me, I think he doesn't he watch over us all the time in his Paramatma aspect?
Well, he's waiting for you to get to the right consciousness, that's all. The right mood, the right understanding. So he's watching, but he's not doing anything until he sees that you're ready to receive what he wants to give. That's for the devotee. For the non-devotees, the law of karma is working and they're getting the results of their karmic activity. But for the devotees, he's directly involved, but he allows the devotee to become purified by the activities by letting the devotee struggle to perform the activity. And then when Krishna is pleased, then everything comes nice. So with the non-devotees, they're getting the reactions indirectly through the material energy. And for the devotees, the Lord is facilitating everything through his spiritual energy. But he's always with the devotee. He never leaves the devotee. We forget him, but materially good and materially bad not necessarily are the same understandings on the spiritual platform. What is materially good and bad doesn't have any relevance on the spiritual platform, because what appears to be materially bad could be spiritually good. And what could be materially good could be spiritually, what we say, unfavorable. Like if a devotee gets some material success, that may take them away from Krishna. So therefore, Krishna may not sanction that. If a devotee gets into some material difficulty and that helps that devotee become more Krishna conscious, then spiritually it's good.
Does that
The
help?
Lord is not neglecting, he's just sanctioning according to the situation. He
Does that
says,
help?
every case just depend on me, that's all. Right, Sri Devi?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada.
Depend on Krishna.
I have reached that point today, Guru Maharaj. Given up the fight, thrown up my hands, now I'm saying, go with that, you take care. That's it. And I'm actually doing all the services that I had pushed aside and wasted time in fretting and fuming over so many things. It's really such a telling thing what you have just said, Guru Maharaj, that if we just depend on Krishna, we will actually have peace of mind. But time and time again, the same thing happens.
Don't worry. When you stop trying to find an apartment. Devananda Pandit, did that answer your question?
No, I can say that I'm happy because with the answer, because Krishna always watching us. Why should I pray for him to look upon me? I don't understand. He is always watching us in his aspect of Paramatma.
Yeah. Don't ask for anything material, but ask for something spiritual. We pray for devotional service. We pray for good association. We pray for increasing the quality of our japa. All of these things we can pray for. But we don't pray for anything material.
Isn't it material when I ask Krishna to watch me? Maybe
No.
this is material desire.
Depends on your level of consciousness. For a pure devotee, he doesn't bother Krishna for anything. But for us who are less than pure devotee, we need to pray. Because we're not pure yet, that's why. If you're pure devotee, then Krishna will take care of you automatically without asking. But for us who are not so pure, because we still look towards the material energy, we need to fortify our consciousness by always remembering Krishna and praying, my dear Lord, please don't let me get attracted to Maya. Prabhupada demonstrated that too. One time he was sitting in his hotel room and the devotees were asking, what are you praying for? Prabhupada said, I'm praying not to fall into Maya. Prabhupada said that, I'm praying not to fall into Maya. Can Prabhupada fall into Maya? No, but he's teaching that this is what we should be doing, praying not to fall into Maya.
This looks like a prayer, Christian prayer, our Father.
Yeah, that's nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one.
Yeah, very good. Nice prayer.
But we said it is material prayer always.
No, it's not material. Material prayer means to fulfill some material desire.
Give us this day of our daily bread.
Well, that's material. I'm not saying all Christian prayers are material, and I'm not saying all Christian prayers are spiritual. You have to take the prayer as it's given. Some of them are more pure, some of them are pure, and some of them are mixed. The devotee prays for devotional service. The devotee prays not to fall into Maya. The devotee prays to get out of Maya.
Is that helping you, Prabhuji? So there is one question in the chat, Maharaj. I will read it. It is from Shashidhar Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I have a confusion that some Maharaj call selected people Bhakta or Bhaktin and remaining people as Prabhus or Matajis. Can you please explain me about it? But for
Yeah.
Krishna?
I somehow I can't understand. You'd have to say it again slowly.
He says, I have a confusion that some Maharaj call selected people Bhakta or
Whoa,
Bhakti.
now, I have a confusion. After that, you lost me.
That some Maharaj call selected people Bhakta or Bhakti.
Now, what is that sentence? I don't understand at all. I doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. I can't even hear the words clearly. You have to go real slow.
Okay, Maharaj, I will try again. Shashidhar Prabhu says, I have a confusion that some Maharaj call selected people Bhakta or Bhakti.
Some Maharaj calls selected people. What is that supposed to mean? I don't know what that means.
Maybe he means address as Bhakta or Bhakti. And
you have to be able to take these questions and make them sensible.
And
give me a senseless question. Why don't you just post it on the chat? I'll read it.
Yeah, he has posted it on chat. Maharaj, can I just paste it again?
Yeah, let me see it.
Okay.
Okay. I have that some Maharaj calls selected people Bhakta. That I have, there is some confusion that a Maharaj will refer to people as Bhakta and Bhaktin and remaining people as Prabhus and Matajis. I do the same thing. Sometimes we call it Bhakta, sometimes we call Prabhu, sometimes we call Bhaktin, sometimes we say Mataji. Yeah. It's all the same. It's just a title, that's all. Sometimes Prabhupada said, my dear boys and girls, he would say, or my dear daughters, he would refer to his disciples as with him. My dear sons and daughters, he would sometimes refer to them as. Yeah, it's just different ways of referring to the same people, that's all. I might call you Mr., and I might call you Sir. I might call you by your first name. I might call you as your last name. Yeah, it's just different ways of referring to the same people. There's nothing philosophical about that, or nothing that has to do with, it's just way we refer to people in different ways, that's all. Krishna is equal to everyone, yeah. That's true. Some people call Krishna, some call him Govinda, some call him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, some call him the most beautiful boy of Vrindavan. Same person.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hope that helps, Shashidhar Prabhu. Are there any more questions, or if anyone would like to share any reflection, please go ahead. Please turn on all of your videos if possible. Devananda Prabhu, do you have another question?
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, in the next verse, Kunti calls Krishna,
What does she call him?
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking.
In the next verse, Queen Kunti calls Krishna O Gadadhara. What does it mean, the name Gadadhara?
I have to see the verse. I don't understand what you're saying.
The next.
Put the verse up.
1:8:39. The next verse. Yes. This one.
Oh, Gadadhara.
Yes. What does it mean, Gadadhara?
Gadadhara means, Gada means club, and Dara means holder of the club.
Of what color?
Gada means club, a club. And Dara means holder. Gadadhar means one who holds the club.
Club as this is such a big wood, no, like Hima
It's a weapon.
weapon. Gada.
Yeah. Gada means club, club. Krishna has 4 symbols. He has the club, he has the disc, he has the lotus flower, he has the conch. Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So devotees, are there any more questions? Any reflections?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yes, Namrata Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, Krishna is addressed many times with different names in the scriptures. So, if he is addressed Gadadhar, if he is addressed Madhusudana, if he is addressed Keshava, so why with different names? What is the context in that?
You don't know that? I'm surprised you don't know that answer. Come on. Why are you asking that question?
I'm just asking because every time in the verse it doesn't relate to the Krishna. So why? I was just wondering.
All of these are different qualities of Krishna, different activities of Krishna. You know that. Come on. You're born in India. You don't know that? Come on.
I know, Guru Maharaj.
I just think you're just asking a question just for fun. You know the answer.
No, Guru Maharaj. I was just in a little confusion. As in like if Krishna is addressed as Rishikesh, he's the controller of senses.
Right.
Then somewhere he's addressed as Madhusudana, but the verse is telling something else. So is that verse relating at that time? That is why he's told like that, and that is why he's addressed like that.
Yeah, it's just the way people address him. He's addressed by him. Sometimes he's addressed by Gudakesh. That was Arjuna was dressed as Gudakesh. Arjuna is dressed as Dhananjaya. Arjuna is dressed in different ways. Krishna is dressed in different ways. I call you Namrata. Your husband has his own name for you. Your son has his own name for you. Your mother has her name. You same person.
Okay. So that is just out of love they're addressing it. I was just thinking that in context with the verse they are addressing it.
Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's just an expression of devotion.
Okay.
Don't ask that question again.
I'm sorry very much.
I think you're just teasing me.
No, not at all. I'm sorry for that.
Sukava, what do you think? She's harassing me?
Guru Maharaj, I think he's trying to help the new devotees. Be merciful on her. She knows she's trying to help others.
Yeah, she's just having fun.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to go ahead? Good question. Okay, Maharaj, I don't see any questions or reflections.
Okay.
On this side.
So tomorrow's class is at
Charlotte devotee.
yeah, it's at 12:20 UK time, which is 6:20 Central Standard Time,
Yes.
7:20 Eastern Standard Time, and 12:20 UK time, and add 4.5 hours, and you got Indian Standard Time.
4:50 Indian time. 4.
Yeah, that's tomorrow's
Yeah.
class with the devotees from Charlotte.
Yes.
And Saturday, I don't know if I'll be able to do the class. I'm still have to see once I arrive at my new destination. Okay. How many days left you have, Sri Devi, before they kick you out?
Ten days, Guru Maharaj.
10 more days, and then you're on the streets, right?
Yes.
Okay, pray for Sri Devi. She can find that palace she's looking for.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Now, right now, I'm simply praying, Guru Maharaj, take away everything. Let me become a Vairagi, so then I don't have this problem. Why you even gave me that money to buy a house? Even that he should have taken away. So I will be happily living under the trees and begging for some fruits, and that's it.
That's okay. Well, actually, Sukavaha is praying that you don't find a house, so you'll come back to London and stay with her.
Oh, Krishna.
That'll be so nice. Can't wait then.
Guru Maharaj, it's so wonderful to be with God sisters. I'm willing to go anywhere. Slovenia ready, London ready.
US Mataji, we are also waiting.
I feel like when you're with your devotee friends, you're so happy. When you're doing your Babajini bhajan in Mayapur, it's something else.
Guru Maharaj, you really said it. I think I've been sent here only, as a punishment, that this is what it feels like without your God sisters. So you better appreciate them and serve them nicely when they come.
That's the whole program. Okay, if you can't go to them, invite them to come to you. But you don't have a place, so you're going to be with an umbrella sitting outside, right?
We all can build a nice house. Don't worry, Sridevi Mataji.
Come on over, come on over. All of you just come on over. I tell you, you're going to have such a wonderful time singing and dancing along Navadvip, streets of Navadvip. We'll just sing and dance and we'll be singing all the way back to Bharat.
True.
Okay, there you go. There's the answer. And that way, so many people will benefit. Good. Anyway, best wishes.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thanks to you, I have simply quit worrying. I don't know if I've gone mad or what. I'm just not worried anymore. Till now, I was running around frantically. Now, I just thrown up my hands and said, okay, Krishna, whatever you desire, it will happen. If I have to be on the streets, I'll be on the streets.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Namrata, she's